detection. For more than 25 years, I have seen a need for a new theory of deception and deception detection. Ekman's idea of leakage was hugely influential, but the deficiencies were apparent almost immediately. His focus shifted over time from the leakage hierarchy to a focus on the face and micro-expressions. But my read of the ensuing literature reveals more excuses for why the data do not seem to support his theory than solid, replicated, affirmative scientific support. Interpersonal deception theory is even less viable. It is logically incoherent, and I knew it to be empirically false 4 years before it was eventually published. The new cognitive load approach in criminal and legal psychology does not seem to be the path forward either, for the theoretical reasons identified by Steve McCornack, as well as weak, inconsistent, and just plain odd empirical findings. The need is clear. Existing theory does not cut it. A new perspective is needed. Duped, Truth Default Theory and the Social Science of Lying and Deception tells the story of my program of research culminating in my new theory of deception, Truth Default Theory, TDT. Approximately 60 original studies and experiments are summarized and woven together within the TDT framework. I detail where the ideas came from, how ideas were tested, and how the findings combined to produce a coherent new understanding of human deception and deception detection. The story begins in 1989 when I co-authored my first deception detection experiment as a graduate student. The experiment brought college student dating couples into the lab, and my professor and I looked at how the closeness of the communicators' relationship and how prompting suspicion affected our research subjects' ability to tell whether their partners were lying. The big finding was that even when we tried to make them highly suspicious, our subjects still tended to believe their partners regardless of their partner's actual honesty. This finding was called truth bias, and it has turned out to be a very robust finding. Since then, I have collected data in countries around the world and recruited a wide variety of research subjects, including college students, university professors, police detectives, customs agents, and professional spy catchers. Truth bias has been a constant finding. I have never found people to be otherwise. Over time, I have pieced together coherent understandings of truth bias, how best to catch lies, and the interplay between the two. TDT proposes that the content of incoming communication is usually uncritically accepted as true, and most of the time this is a good thing for us. One of the most surprising new insights is that truth bias and truth default work well for us. I argue that the tendency to believe others is an adaptive product of human evolution that enables efficient communication and social coordination. The truth default allows humans to function socially. Further, because most deception is enacted by a few prolific liars, the so-called truth bias is not really a bias after all. Passive belief makes us right most of the time. The catch is that it also makes us vulnerable to occasional deceit. Importantly, TDT also challenges current social, scientific, and folk views of deception that prioritize nonverbal and linguistic behavior as the keys to lie detection. According to TDT, the path to improved human lie detection involves listening to what is said rather than to how it is said. As previously mentioned, the recent U.S. election provides an excellent example of a situation where confidence and belligerence were decoded as authenticity and were often mistaken for honesty. More broadly, research shows that using evidence and skilled question asking produces much better outcomes than passive observation of deception cues like gaze aversion, facial expressions, body language, pronoun usage, or decontextualized counts of details. My research on lie detection and truth bias has produced many provocative new findings over the years. For example, we have uncovered what makes some people more believable than others, a believability quotient, and have discovered several ways to improve lie detection accuracy. I directed a team of researchers, funded by the FBI and involving agents from the NSA, that produced the highest lie